and it's now or never. Hey guys, I'm gonna live forever. I'm gonna live like I'm alive because I'm alive tonight, Scuba.
You are alive. We were just rocking out in here, having a great old time.
Yeah, rocking to some Bon Jovi,
little
you know, Division, little K-pop, little techno, EDM, whatever the Spotify does.
Well, there's Spotify and then there's Stream Beats, like we're listening to right now. This is one of the newest albums. It's got kind of a dubstep vibe to it. So,
boom, boom, blah, blah, blah. You know,
gotta love it where you can.
So, how are you tonight, Scuba? How's everybody out there today? Tonight, evening, wherever you're at.
I'm doing pretty good. Hanging out there, having fun. Did the plug. Got a new chat command for Stream Beats, which is copyright-free music for Twitch streamers and YouTubers. Go check it out, streambeats.com for more information.
Check it out, people. Get some grooves in your hooves, as I mean your feet.
I'll switch it over to the our Sirenscape run. This is a Sirenscape. It's background music and soundboards you can use for your tabletop experience, or as we're using it as our background while we chit chat. Make it like we're walking through a town somewhere.
Walking through a town, you know, checking in at the Scuba headquarters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I did some rearranging in the studio, trying to get ready for some stuff going on, and I had a couple people comment. My studio now feels like it's got a little bit like a doctor's office waiting room in it. So it's like, I guess I'm your game doctor tonight.
Game doctor. You got if you get some Nintendo Power and PSM magazines over there, you'll be true.
I got some of those in a box in the other room, dude. I got Game Informer. I got Nintendo Power. I got game guides. I mean, what you want? I got tabletop games. I got, you know,
whatever works. You
got the Dungeons and Dragons, yo. Got that D&D, man.
The one tabletop board game that you got that entices me is that Assassin's Creed one.
Oh yeah, the Assassin's Creed board game. I'm stoked to try and play with that. I'm stoked on that. There's a Horizon Zero Dawn board game in there.
There is a My Hero Academia Monopoly. Leave with me.
No.
Okay.
No.
There is
a Hellboy game.
That one is intriguing too.
That one is fun. That one looks fun. It's got cool little miniatures. All the artwork is stylized after the comics and inspired by the comics and all that fun stuff.
Hey Q.
Hey Q, how is it going? Mayflower, how are you doing tonight? Zip, how are you?
Doctor.
That's there. William James. It's good to see you, my man.
Got the doctor in the house and the nurse Ry Guy missing the hat.
Yeah, I cleaning up. I got all the board games. We went through a bunch of old board games today. I mean, I had some old ones. I had 3 copies of Mousetrap, dude. 3
copies. How is there 3? Is there like 3 different editions of it?
I got 3. I had 3 different editions. I had 2 of the old classic edition.
Yeah.
And then I had a copy of a newer one, which is more like a jungle vibe to it. That is the only one of the 3 that had all the pieces. And if you've ever played Mousetrap, you know what I mean by it said it had all the pieces. That has got to be one of those complicated game setups.
Oh yeah, it's definitely complicated. You better not be missing a piece, then it's game over.
What's I'm missing the name. What are those contraptions where it's just a series of random things as it goes through? It's a really cool marketing technique. I remember seeing for a car commercial where it's like you hit the marble and it went through and it ended up going through all the components of the car and ended with it starting the car. It's
I don't know. It's on the tip of my tongue. It'll come to me later.
Oof. Bought your first set of physical dice?
Uh-oh. Roll them 20s.
That's okay. Plenty of chances to play that. Now you got to get another set, so you put the first set in dice jail. And you're well on your way to become a dice goblin.
Yes, like said person we know.
I have no idea what you're talking about. It's not like I have a giant bin of a bin of dice up there on the shelf.
It's right there, people. Behind me is the color for dice.
Yes, the rabbit hole. The rabbit hole. You're right. You can't blame D&D. Well, I mean, if you look at it, D&D Beyond, Avray, and now you got the physical dice. It's like, this one's not giving you good rolls. You move on to the other one. That one's not giving you good rolls. We just ignore Avray and we just roll. We just go back to the first one.
Roll it, Cass. Hopefully everybody survives.
Thank you, Kit Matari. That was it. The Rube Goldberg devices. Mousetrap is like your first thing into that. And if you're missing any of those pieces, damn, that sucks.
An 8-set pack, 7 other sets roaming free at the moment. Intrigue. Intrigue. Yes.
Interesting. But yeah, so I had those, had a bunch of older games, but then I had those other ones, so it's like missing pieces. But the game I really was glad I found, and I actually have the majority of the pieces, and my wife got a kick out of laughing at me for that, is I had back in the mid-90s, there was a little movie that came out one summer involving some paleontologists and some genetically recreated dinosaurs. Little film called Jurassic Park.
Just a little film.
Small film.
By a small director by Spielberg.
Yep.
Yeah.
Little small guy. You know, hasn't done much.
Yeah,
Anyways.
It hasn't done a lot.
That following holiday season, I got a Jurassic Park board game. And I mean, it's probably one of the biggest board game boxes I've ever seen. It's second only to Kingdom Death Monster. So I got this game and it was fun, and well, I still have it. It was still in the black hole of storage. Pulled it out, opened it up, and I have 99% of the pieces. The only things I'm missing 2 characters, and I'm missing the bases for a few of the characters. But I had everything else. The important thing is I had all the dinosaur miniatures.
That's all that matters.
And my wife had never heard of it. So real quick, we laid it out. And it was one of those, it was like, I remembered 90% of the rules. A couple of things I was a little fuzzy on, so I got to try and find the rules again. But I was showing her how to play. The whole concept of this game is you start at the end of the island, and you have to work your way to the visitor center to escape. Well, at the end... It's kind of a cooperative, competitive.
Sounds like a very daunting task.
Well, you have 3 dinosaur areas. You have Dilophosaurus, Velociraptor, and T-Rex.
Okay.
T-Rex, your starting point is obviously where Grant and the kids crashed their car, and the T-Rex knocked it over the ledge. Well, the T-Rex follows. So here's basically how the turn order works. You have a set of cards. You lay down a card that tells you how many spaces you can move. And the whole map is hexagonal. After you move your character, you can then roll the dinosaur die and then move one of those dinosaurs that many spaces. Okay. So while you're trying to save yourself, you could roll the die and have the dinosaurs intercept and attack your competitors. Or, as an optional rule in the game, if you had enough for all the players, you could have one person just play the dinosaurs, so they get to roll the dinosaur die every time the turn goes off. But otherwise, it's when you get done with your movement, you roll the dinosaur die and move the dinosaur. Here's the hilarious. It's a 6-sided die. The 5 and 6 are the T-Rex, and that's how many spaces they can move.
Interesting.
2s and 3 and 4 was Velociraptor. 1 and 2 was Dilophosaurus. But me, after all these years, I opened the box and I'm like, I see the visitor center, which was one of those little cardboard thingies you tape together. I'm like, I could probably rebuild this to be a much better model. And then when I looked at the dinosaurs, ooh, miniatures! I can paint these.
Yes, it kicks in. I got the materials.
My wife was done. She was done. She was like, figures. You'd go right for painting the miniatures. Like, they're cool miniatures, you know.
Yeah. Well, it is something fun to do, so yeah. There's a lot of stuff with the dice.
Talking about dice in the chat. That's awesome. Dice are always great.
Yeah, having dice makes the world better. In some circles. Let's roll 20.
To be fair, Mayflower, the first couple of minutes of a Jurassic Park movie is not scary. It's really.
It's
Well,
not scary.
wait a minute. I have to think about this. Like, wait a minute. How did the
Wait.
first one open again?
Um,
Yeah. See, no, never mind. Never mind.
you might be able to get through it.
Hey, Sakura.
Hey, Sakura.
Hopefully, I'm not going to keep you up too late, but thank you for hanging out with us. Glenn, how you doing?
It is a rite of passage. That is right, Q.
That was That was one of the first times I left school early because it came out the final week of class, and me and a buddy of mine decided to walk from the school to the theater and check the movie out. It's one of the first movies I saw multiple times in theaters because it was that much fun.
Yeah, that would definitely be a fun movie to watch again and again because Jurassic Park is an iconic movie.
It is. It's really great.
It holds up to this day, which is.
There are various sound sets for all types of game genres and sound effects. There is even a set of sound effects that can give you dinosaur sounds if you're roaming through the jungle. It's awesome. So go check out Sirenscape.com for more information on the various sound sets and the online player and all that goodness.
Get that sound, baby.
That was a
Boom.
really kind of sidetracked promo, and then we brought it back, and it's like, all right, we're good. This is great.
Around town.
Oh, and hey, if you're checking us out on YouTube because we're live, it's awesome. We thank you. We love you. Please remember to hit the like button if you like what we're doing. Tell you what, there's a little graphic right there. It's right there.
Check there,
Hit the
check
like.
there, check everywhere.
If you're new here, hit subscribe. Hit the little bell to be notified when we do more things. And if you're checking us out on the replay, please do the same thing above. Feed the algorithm.
Feed it, breathe it, make it happen, people. We need your love and kindness.
Alrighty, so tonight, what do we have on the deck for tonight, Rye? What are we doing?
We got quite a few things.
Really?
Oh yeah, well,
Let's tease the audience. Get them to try and stick around longer.
As always, got a movie review for a Netflix original. I Care a Lot, a very intriguing movie. Video game chit chats. Finally finished Cyberpunk. You got your Uncharted stuff. You got some D&D stuff, and we actually are bringing back lovely conversation, our fireside chats, because there's some big news in the streaming sphere coming.
Yeah,
this
is good. This is something that's happening this week, on Thursday.
Yep, the 4th. So Paramount Plus is hitting the streaming service. So we'll go
and chat about that one.
And then just a wrap up of the Golden Globes, talk about major winners and whatnot.
Yep.
Golden Globes are usually a foreshadowing of what's to come with the Oscars and Emmys, so it's a good way to gauge the award circuit going forward. And then a couple odds and ends, and maybe some other articles we found extra.
Cool. So, that's what we got planned for tonight. And, of course, some other shows that we got going on. On Saturdays, we have Dungeons and Dragons games. We have Shadow Watch, which is at 10 a.m. Eastern over at twitch.com/Scuba Studio, twitch.tv/Scuba Studio. And then we have at 8 p.m. Challenge Accepted. Both of these are live play D&D games that we do over on Twitch. Also, Sunday morning, Sunday with Scoob, where I sit, I paint a miniature, and chit-chat with my friends and all you wonderful people in the chat. So that's 12 noon here on the YouTube channel, those kinds of things. And
Q, we do have something related to that, maybe, about the D&D movie. He does ask about, we know about the movie being made?
I did hear something about that, and we can kind of go into that with our what's up, what we've been doing. We kind of been chatting about it already.
What's been happening, and what's been happening with that D&D movie?
What's been happening is that D&D movie is, I read the article on Variety, but it looks like Hugh Grant has been cast as as the villain of the new Dungeons and Dragons movie that is currently in pre-production.
I will post the link in the chat. There you go. So yeah,
Middle Earth movie. Well, we do know about the Amazon TV series for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings series coming out on Amazon Prime. I think it's this year or next year, but it is one of my all-time wishlist dreams that I don't think would ever happen, but it is, and it's taking place during the Second Age of Middle Earth. So that's the forging of the rings, and the rise in the power of Saruman, and the rise and fall of the men of Numenor. And then it'll lead up until the last alliance fight against Sauron at Mount Doom. So it'll fill in all those gaps, people.
Yeah, the cast lineup for this new Dungeons and Dragons movie would be interesting. We were discussing this offline. There was one that came out in the early 2000s, I believe, that I actually really enjoyed.
The D&D movie? I
Yeah.
never saw that one, so I have no opinion on this.
I really enjoyed it. Yes, it had its flaws. Don't get me wrong. Most of these high fantasy films have flaws, unless you're familiar with the stuff. But I thought it was good. I really enjoyed Jeremy Irons as a villain. He's always fun.
Yeah, Jeremy Irons always has that good voice.
It's the voice, man. It's the voice. I thought Marlon Wayans was pretty good for comic relief. I thought overall it wasn't a bad film. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I know
My wife and I both said that if you haven't watched it and you want to venture for it, I will put this forth to you. In that movie, there is a Thieves Guild leader who is really kind of just insane. My wife and I saw that and we looked at him and we're like, you know what? If they ever did Forgotten Realms stuff, or specifically R.A. Salvador, that guy would be the perfect Jarlaxle. He just had that vibe. I could see him as Jarlaxle.
Oh, yeah.
That again, I really enjoyed the film.
It'd be intriguing to see what happens with this D&D movie. But, you know, you're bringing in some big names, so, you know, hopefully it'll help out because, you know, with Hugh Grant, you do have Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez in the film too. So hopefully, you know, good actors bring good talent, brings good story. So.
Well, if anything, we've learned that like the biggest success for Marvel when it comes to comic book movies is don't focus on the comic book elements, focus on telling another story, and just add the comic book elements in as additional flavor. I keep pointing this out, and I keep
WandaVision.
WandaVision is good. My go-to reference is going to be the first Ant-Man film because that was a heist movie in a comic book genre, and it worked. If they do this with the Dungeons and Dragons, if they do this with other ones, it will work much better than some of the other tropes.
Yeah, if you work in a story and then add in the comic book elements, then you'll have great senses of movies. Everything from what you said, Ant-Man, to Winter Soldier, Dark Knight, to Joker. You know, you make a story and then wrap it around the material, then it gets great.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
So we will see how that goes.
All right.
Yep. Hugh is the big bad evil guy.
Yeah, big bad. You know, with that voice empowering, it's gonna be like, oh my god, who is he? You know?
I think it'll be. I'm cautiously optimistic because after Monster Hunter, you really can't go any lower.
Well, I have seen lower films than that, but in the vein of current events of films, yes.
Yeah, that one. I saw a review on that recently where they pointed out that, you know what, there are a lot of great references to the game, and I think that's the only saving grace to the film is the game references, not the film's individual story. It's just didn't work.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go back revisit my review. Check it out on ryreviews.com. But you know, yeah, that is a stinker. It's at the bottom of the toilet. So, you know, yep. What else has been happening in the happening worlds of Scuba?
Is it time for you to share whatever it is you took between our call earlier and now? I'm not sure I understand what you mean or implying, sir.
I don't know either. We were listening to EDM music for most of the time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait.
Oh, well, anyway.
Sweet! Confirmation for next week. Awesome. It's confirmed.
We'll leave that at that. But anyways, what else has been happening over there, Scoob, other than messages and hidden codes?
Okay. Rearrange some stuff in the studio. Yeah, I said that already.
Yeah, we got a doctor's appointment.
We got kind of a doctor's feel to the office. Like, fine, I'll be your game doctor. Let's play into that trope. Let's find a way to make that better.
He's the doctor, I'm the nurse. You figure out the rest. So.
Oh yes, confirmation. I love it. I love it.
Any other new things for what's been happening?
Yes, I'm sure they're a new thing.
I love that. You know, frozen in the moment.
Oh, seriously though, yeah. I ordered a Xbox Series S. I'm just waiting for it to get delivered because some stock's coming back in. I was able to get on that early. Um, I have a guest confirmation for next week, so that will be loads of fun. I'll tell you who that is at the end of the show.
Yep.
Um,
He got an S. That's great. It's the S's are available now. I'll wait for the X.
the news is games are awesome, and we should all play more games.
Yes. Yes, we will do that. But anyways,
So yeah, all the fun there, did a lot of running around last couple of days.
You have.
Got my son a new bicycle. I actually went out to Virginia Beach because I live in Chesapeake. I went out to Virginia Beach to a bike shop that I had frequented back when I lived in Virginia Beach. Great bike shop. It's called Fat Frogs.
It is a good bike shop.
It's here in Virginia Beach and Red Mill. They're really awesome, great people. I had a bike that I needed to take in. They're like, it'll cost this much for the tire fix. Everything else we're going to do for maintenance is completely free because I bought the bike through them, and they will do a yearly maintenance on the bike as part of that. So yeah, it set me back about $420 to buy my son a bike, but I bought him a quality bike.
I sent the link in the chat for anybody who wants to check it out.
So Fat Frogs was awesome and great, and we chatted about some things for some stuff. But here's a funny story with that. I sent while I'm having a conversation about some stuff I can't talk about. My son was trying to get set up for us to go to Virginia Beach. And he was having problems with the trailer hitch. Like, okay, well, I go and check it out. Turns out the lock that holds my trailer hitch together had rusted over, so it wasn't quite coming apart right. Okay. So I fiddled with it. I ended up leaving it unlocked. Now this is important. I left it unlocked. Hooked up my trailer. Drove to Virginia Beach, which for me is about a 40-minute drive. Drove back on a stretch of road that can get a little bouncy. Cross the bridge, all that.
I know
the next morning, I took my son to Target because he wanted to get some accessories for his bike. Bike lock, simple things. Once we got out of Target, I went and I checked the trailer hitch. And I noticed that the pin that holds the hitch together had gotten longer. I go to look at it. It turns out that all that jarring around with it unlocked knocked enough of the rust loose that I could pop the lock apart and pull the hitch apart.
Hey, now,
Talk about lucky, because you could totally see driving and the right vibration, pop it off, lose the trailer, all kinds of craziness. But, yeah.
The Outriders demo, no. I don't know what that is.
Outriders. That is actually, I'm curious about that because I've heard some things. Basically, Outriders, you've heard the game Anthem, right?
Yeah, I know Anthem. Yep.
Outriders is what Anthem should have been.
Oh, okay.
That's the best description I've got for it. Outriders is what Anthem should have been, and
for it,
so it'll be curious to check out. Oh, wasn't there a PlayStation event last week where they talked about a bunch of games and things?
There was a state of play, and they did. I didn't pick up on a lot of it, but they just highlighted a few games and the Final Fantasy VII stuff. So.
Yeah, interesting thing about the whole co-op bit on there, Scott. There's been a big push for multiplayer games, but in some instances, BioWare realized that pushing so much multiplayer actually hurt them. So one of the decisions they made is when their next Dragon Age comes out, it'll be purely single player.
Yep, they did that. They went and squashed BioWare. Anthem development and was like, nope, we're going to focus on these other two games.
Well, it's a good thing you tuned in, Mayflower, because then we'll talk about more games, and then you'll know, and then you'll learn about these things
and have more games to play.
So yeah, it's always good to have more games, lots of games.
Oh, that's good. Full crossplay. I gotta love that.
So yeah, PlayStation event had a thing for the Final Fantasy VII game.
Yep.
They're gonna do they're gonna do an up version for PlayStation 5. Who didn't see that coming?
Well, I did not. Shocker. Sarcasm. Yeah.
However, they decided to do what Sony does. And here, check this out. Like right now, this month, if you have PlayStation Plus, you can get Final Fantasy VII
For free.
for free as part of their game for the month. However, if you had already purchased Final Fantasy VII, then when you can get a free upgrade from the PS4 version to the PS5 version. However, if you got it through the free game for PlayStation Plus, you are ineligible for that benefit. Additionally, on PlayStation 5, there is a new chapter that is being released for Final Fantasy VII.
Called Integrate.
However, if you did not buy Final Fantasy VII, you are not eligible for this free chapter that you can get.
And it's only available on PS5.
That too. Typical.
Just call it a bait and switch. Get your money. That's what Sony will do.
Oh man, yep. So
Yes, it is, Scott. Final Fantasy VII Remake's going to be free on PS Plus if you haven't gotten already. It's a fun game. I did a lot of play-by-play on this show about it. It's fun, definitely. Looking forward to the next half.
it is in the queue for what I'm going to do, because after I finish Uncharted Lost Legacy, I am moving on to Horizon Zero Dawn, and then I will mess with Final Fantasy.
Yep.
Until then.
Until then, you have some games.
So, that's what I've been doing. Moving around, getting some stuff done, got some new things happening this week in terms of studio layout and things like that. But what about you, Ry? What have you been doing?
What have I been doing outside the typical doing work and doing school? I'll leave it at that. That's very just monotony, but I gotta do it. I had a longer weekend. I took off Monday, so I had a 3-day weekend. Really didn't amount to much because an extra day just means more days to do schoolwork. But in between then, I did clean my car because it's been raining since God knows when. So once I had a day of sunshine, decided to clean my car. So that's a good thing.
What is with the weather right now? I mean,
I don't know.
It's clearly spring in Virginia because we got freezing temperatures, cold temperatures, warm temperatures, and potentially summer temperatures all in the same week.
Yes, it definitely is an amalgamation of WTO, but yeah, it is what it is. But was able to clean my car. I did get a new figurine to add to my collection of figurines that I was growing, and I'm going to need more table space, but I got a figurine of Shoto Todoroki, who is a character from My Hero Academia. If you want to see a picture, it's on my Instagram. Follow me below. And also, me and Angelica, my lovely girlfriend, we tried out a new food joint over in Virginia Beach called the Rustic Spoon. It's a local joint, very small joint off Pleasure House Road. Very great food. I would definitely recommend it.
Interesting.
And also, I have started plotting my next story to write.
Nice.
Yep. I got inspired based on a lot of anime music and a specific anime or a Japanese singer by the name of Only, and a specific song that she sings called Starwink. It led me to write a couple poems, which led me back to a story I started, and I started plotting it out more. So I'm not going to speak too much to it, other than it is going to be more of a coming-of-age / romance story, focusing on 3 characters that intertwine through music and on a beachside town. So
Interesting.
a guy, a girl, and another kid. So not their kid, spoiler alert, but they all have a care in the world.
That's always good.
But yep, that'll take me a while. I told one of my co-workers at work that I'm a very methodical writer, so especially when it comes to stories, it takes me a long time. So give me about 1.5 years and I might get it done. On top of the other story I need to edit, the other book I need to edit, and the other novel I need to edit. So, but school comes first, people. But the story is there. A new story awaits.
New story awaits. All righty. Well, I think that's it for our What's Up.
Yeah, what is up?
So I guess we can move into reviews.
Review time.
Let's do those review things. Yeah. Let's talk about I Care a Lot.
Do you care a lot, Scuba? Because I do.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
But
Most of the time.
does she care a lot?
Dude, whatever she's into, man, she is really kind of just...
Did you get the chance to check out this movie?
I meant to. I got the trailer. My wife was like, I don't know about this. Then we both watched the trailer. She was like, okay, we've got to check this out at some point. Because this is just a riot from just the trailer. And this is a film, came out on Netflix.
Yep.
The premise of this film is you have someone who manipulates the legal system to be put in charge of elderly people as their guardian. She then puts them in nursing homes and then sells off all their stuff. I mean, she is... I mean, there's gold digging, and then there's this. I mean, this is just... But as with many things, she has gotten so overconfident in her abilities. It turns out that she went and got involved with the wrong person.
Yes, she did.
Everything goes completely crazy after that. Did I sum that up pretty much on point, Ry?
Yep. Without giving out spoilers, so you've learning from the master, my Padawan.
See, you're not the best at not doing spoilers either. However, that being said, Ry, tell us about I Care a Lot.
I Care a Lot is a film, a Netflix original film by writer-director Jay Blakeson, and it stars Rosamund Pike in the main role as Marlon Grayson. And like Scuba says, she is a lawyer, a very cunning and, as you say, sinister kind of lawyer. In a way, she is very cunning and slick because what she does in the film is that she manipulates the legal system and has favors done with her through the courts and medical professionals to weave this empire of being what they call legal guardians for all these elderly people. So basically the first part of the film is a very heavy expositional, very much just trying to generalize this situation. You're placed in this position, you get to understand her like levels of intricacies that involves the court systems, the medical providers, from the nurses to the doctors, specific doctor, and it's just the first act is such a overwhelming like unexpectedness of dark comedy and unique realism because it's such an about face of the legal system. Like, you know, it's kind of wrong and vile, but she's not doing anything wrong. She's doing everything by the books, legally by the books. So is she wrong? Is she right? It's all about a moral dilemma with her, but it's an obscure drama with that dark comediness, and that what makes the film at least bubbling too good to great. And then because of her strong, persevering, individualistic attitude, her pride starts to blind her, because what happens is she comes across this very unique situation where she thinks it's the perfect situation, but it basically leads to the too good it's to be too trope. And then that introduced a very sinister element with the introduction of Roman Lonovo, played by Peter Dinklage. And then at this point of the movie, it becomes a game of chess, and a basic, really die-hard, diabolical kind of games of chess, because then they're going back and forth, and the rising level of tension rises to the level where that everybody around them starts to get in danger. And then what you learn is that because of their because of the frenetic moments, the dark comedy situations, there's a molding of entertainment value and disgust at the same time, because you're just like, you're so crazed at what's happening. But at the same time, no matter how crazy it is and diabolical that Peter Dinklage's character gets, putting her in dangerous situation, and anybody related to her in dangerous situations, she always finds a way to use the legal system to her advantage to get one up on this character. And it's so funny and hilarious how she does it. And then what happens is that once you get into the third act, there's a lot of heavy foreshadowing. but that foreshadowing is just a red herring for the unpredictable outcomes, because what you think might happen doesn't happen, and then there's twists and turns that lead you to this ominous kind of ultimate checkmate for both characters. Like they're in a win-lose situation where something happens that leads to an even more promising climax in a way. I'm not going to spoil too much past that, but in a way, there's a winning formula that plays into that lioness mentality. So when you're trying to reach for the top, and that pursuit of happiness might have some consequences. Any questions, Scoop?
No, I got to. Peter Dinklage is hilarious to watch,
Yeah.
especially in these cerebral type characters.
Yeah, this movie, like watching both these characters, they're very stark contrasting, because Rosamund Pike, she is so masterful in the role because she's slick and suave and witty, but at the same time, in that cunningness, her personality is very vile and brooding. Like you see her and you can look at it and you're just like, you mother. And then when you see Peter Dinklage's character, even though he is a part of a sinister element in the film, he's very cool, calming, and relaxing, and he's trying to not come out of the shadows, but she keeps pricking and prying around him that he is forced to come out of the shadows and start to do some more diabolical things to her, which kind of catches him off guard. So it is very leveling and fun, and a very unexpected thriller that you're either going to love or hate this film. Because as much as, this is getting critical praise, it's getting an award nomination. She actually won at the Golden Globes for her role in this movie. But the sinisterness and the way that you see how they abuse the legal guardianship can come off, darkly if you're not understanding the context of the satire. So there's a lot of people that love this film, and there's a lot of people that hate it. So it's a very divisive kind of film, but at the same time, it's getting praise for just its witty, dark script.
So in the end, what are we calling it?
Overall, this is a fun time. It's available on Netflix, but I definitely would go to the theaters to see this. 3.5 out of 5. Matinee.
All
It
right.
definitely would be a fun time at the theaters with the right crowd. But let me tell me what you think. Check it out. It's on Netflix. Let us know.
I think it is going to be a lot of fun to see how this.
Yep. I'm not going to spoil it, because if you're definitely going to watch it, you are going to be surprised by some of the things that happen.
Yeah, we were making plans to watch it this afternoon, but then as inevitably happens sometimes, when I plan to do something, all of a sudden I get a message or a call or something comes up where my attention has to be redirected elsewhere, and I have to try to remember to come back to what I was working on initially. So yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, check it out at ryreviews.com for more of those things. So the other cool TV thing that we always been talking about is WandaVision. How much fun.
WandaVision.
If you have not checked out WandaVision, go to Disney Plus and check out WandaVision. Episode 8, the season finale episode. I don't want to say it's a series finale, but I think I think we can definitely safely say season finale is this Friday. And given where they've gone the last couple episodes, I am really curious and excited to see how this plays.
Yep, I'm excited to see Friday, but we gotta roll back to previously on.
Previously on WandaVision.
Previously on.
This episode, if we're gonna try and avoid spoilers, but if you haven't watched it, definitely go watch it. Now that we've let that out, this episode was really nice because I felt that some people would sit there and argue that the episode felt kind of out of place, like it probably might have been better as the first episode of the season, but I'm thinking it was in a perfect spot because this gives us context to everything we've been watching prior.
Yep, it gives context. It's a very breathable episode, and it's one that plays into something that I mentioned a while back, where, people have, because of the binge watching mentality of current, watching viewership, like this episode proves the fact of how great TV series writing has a coming to terms, coming full circle. And slow burns lead to great things like this because it provides levity and a brevity to the characters, and it gives them emotional worth across the board. So this one filled in a lot of gaps, not only for this show, but for previous expositional elements in the other films in the MCU. So I love seeing what they did to the characters. They provided some backstory, providing context, but also introduced more to what may come Friday and beyond.
Yes. Good night, Sakura. Sleep well. Hope you have a good day at work tomorrow. Scott sit there and comment. I thought he remembered hearing them saying they confirmed for 2 more seasons. I don't remember hearing anything about that, but it doesn't say it didn't happen.
It might not happen. It might happen. Who knows?
An interesting thing is, we know for sure that this Friday's episode is going to set up Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes, sir.
I don't think we could really know what kind of a second season of WandaVision we'll get.
Yeah, this is a very
after this next events, because we know that the Marvel cinematic stuff, the Marvel universe, the Marvel universe is all intertwined.
Yes.
So there is going to be something, and we may end up with a completely different concept of the show of WandaVision for a second season.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very different depending on where they place it, if there is a season 2. But the one thing that we know is that Feige is not just going to pull the chain and just cash grab all the time. If it doesn't fit the story,
everything is real. In Feige, we trust at this point.
Yeah.
But again, and the nice thing is the mid-credit scene on this one is great if you're familiar with all the comic book background for some of this.
Yes.
Specifically, West Coast Avengers.
Yeah, and we'll leave it at that. So if you are familiar with the comics and West Coast Avengers and what was introduced in that comic line, then you'll understand and get excited for what may be coming in episode 9. Especially fights and action and whatnots. So
we'll see how that goes.
Yep. So
all right. Next up is State of Game. Talking about games, which we've been doing so far all night. So we're just gonna keep doing that.
Talk about them games.
So Ry, you were you finally decided to pull the trigger and do the final mission on Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes, I did.
How many times did you replay it to get the different endings?
I only played it through once because I had to get to bed, but I went and when I played the final mission, so in Cyberpunk, once you get to Arasaka Tower, I think I might be mispronouncing it. You have to go and talk to the sister of the company, and through some conversations, you have to either agree to help them out or have some various other outcomes depending on what storylines you've done throughout the game. I decided before to do as many of the side quests as possible, but at last night I was like, let me finish it up. So I went in and I decided to do the storyline where I decided to trust Johnny and bring in Rogue to help out and take out everything and head in there. And that was very bittersweet, that ending, because of what happened to Rogue. And then also, once you get to the end, you have a choice to either let Johnny live or let V live. So I decided to go the route of V and then let that cinematic play out, which was very interesting.
Nice.
So, but the interesting thing is that once you go there and roll the credits and once you complete the game, it actually places you back before that initial ending. So you can go and finish out whatever else you want to finish out. So might go and do some of the other stuff so I can get the other endings, but hey.
Mayflower, if you can, retype the message and send it to me on Discord. I want to see what the message is. Maybe we can figure that out as to why your messages are getting deleted. Could be an auto mod setting we're not familiar with, and maybe we can dive in on that, because got a couple other things in the works, and I would like to know more.
I just put in caps, so I don't know if it's that.
No, that works.
Yep. But anyways, yep. Overall, my adventure through Cyberpunk, I did not hit any of those crazy glitches that I saw on YouTube, which were hilarious. I'm not gonna even lie. Some of them were hilarious, but overall, I enjoyed the game. There's a lot of depth to the city, a lot of depth to the city,
Oh yeah.
and a lot of intricate and interesting characters that you meet along the way. I enjoyed that there's a fleshed out, narrative, multiple narratives in the game. And the level of detail with leveling, it's not in depth like some RPGs, but just enough to keep you wanting to find different weapons and different stuff. So overall, I enjoyed it. It didn't hit the top tier echelon of my Mount Rushmore games, which is okay. It doesn't have to hit that to be a good game, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
So now, just got to find another game to plug in. Since I beat that, AC Valhalla, Spider-Man, might go back to some older games. So
Yeah, I'm still working through because I finally have access to some of these. I'm currently working through Uncharted Lost Legacies, and I haven't been playing that as much as I played the other ones because I've been trying to focus on getting some other stuff done.
it happens.
I'm liking this one. I mean, you can definitely tell it's a smaller map because with the other Uncharted games, you seem to go from point to point to point and the distance changes. With this one, you've got a central map that you're bouncing back and forth on like a freaking pinball. And so it's fun. I like it. It's definitely nice to see how it goes. The banter between the two is great. I keep remembering a GIF. Was it a GIF? I think it was either a GIF or just a short video posted by Claudia Black and Laura Bailey back when they were doing the mocap for this. And it was just, I keep seeing that in my head, in my mind's eye, every time I listen to the two characters talk in Lost Legacy. But other than that, it's D&D stuff. Shadowwatch had an interesting session. I managed to put together several encounters, and they managed to sidestep a couple of them.
That's interesting.
Well, this is where I have to get creative.
Yep.
See, I got a couple of characters that have brooms of flying, and they are obsessed with using those brooms of flying everywhere they go. So I was trying to think of a way to have them travel, but make it a little more interesting in travel. So I decided to take the cavern that they were going to traverse and have the ground fall away. So you'd have to either walk across a narrow ledge or fly across. And then I was like, well, I know these guys. They're going to double up on the brooms and they're going to fly across. And be like, well, that's going to be kind of boring. Wait a minute. What if I add cave fishers to the ceiling and have them set up to where, like, this is their hunting ground? And hunting's been good.
Interesting.
The idea was to force them onto the ledge. A couple of them, it was like, cool. And then it was like, all right, well, perception checks to whether or not they could do it. Then I remembered two of my characters have passive perceptions that are like ridiculous at this point. I think one of them has a passive perception of like 23. The other one has a passive perception of 20, which at that point, why bother making them roll? Because unless the enemy creature is like motionless or, stupid quiet, they're going to sense it. So again, the 23, it's like, all right, you notice some of the threads. Well, one of the characters is like, I want to go touch it.
That
let that sink in.
Yeah. Okay.
These little wisps of like fishing line down. She goes touch it, gets caught up. The other character swings with one sword. It gets caught in the webbing, so he swings with another and finally gets the stuff loose. And then I was like, they never saw the creatures, so I was like, well, let me add a little narrative flair.
Sprinkle it in. Let it go.
Channeling that bit from Emperor's New Groove where the insect is caught in the web, I was like, yeah, I let these guys see something get caught and get pulled up and eaten by a cave fisher. Added a little environmental flare. So did that.
Interesting revelation.
So
You must be speaking demonic words or something.
yeah, something's odd. I don't know why it's deleting your messages.
Not sure what to tell you.
That's just that I don't want to touch it. You're
But
right.
somebody touched.
You wanted to investigate, and it happened to brush against the broom and get you caught. I wanted to have a little more, do something a little bit more, because these guys are really good at avoiding things, which is great. But maybe I've shell shocked them a little bit into, if they get into a counter, it might end up being more than they thought. See, your messages don't look like they were all that bad, Mayflower. I'm really not sure what's going on. Huh.
What is she typing?
Yep, mysterious gust of wind. It happens in the Underdark. Had a little flavor.
Make the bridge made of spider webs and everything around it.
Did that once.
What happened with that one?
Oh, somebody set off a fireball.
That is okay.
But
yes.
that's okay. The second one I had was like, again, environmental. The world was living and things. I had them stumble across a group of Duergar being attacked by a roper, which, if you're not familiar, a roper is a creature that looks like a stalagmite and sends out these tentacles that can reach like 50 feet, grab you and pull you in so it can eat you. Very much like Little Shop of Horrors. And it's like, all right. They go to, and they decide to help the Duergar. Awesome. They kill the roper in a couple of rounds. Not terribly unexpected when your average to hit it, when you do connect, you connect with like 20 plus damage.
Hey, whatever makes the wind go.
But I got to try out a creature I tried out one time before, and that was flame skulls.
Flaming skulls.
And I did it in 2 waves of 3.
Okay.
And it didn't go too bad.
That's good.
It's just, I got a chance to kind of use a tactic I meant to use the first time, which is they have a level 3 spell, which is Fireball. And I always pictured that as I'm going for broke. I'm done. This is what I'm going to do. And it was a couple of them where it's like, you just massive hit. And one of the characters is a cleric. So, of course, the cleric does the turn undead. Doesn't quite work. But, man, did it get their attention. But
it happens.
Yeah, and probably the favorite description I had was we had one instance of wild magic, and it was one of those like, okay, roll a wisdom save, and he failed it, and I was just like, maybe it's all that World of Warcraft stuff we've been talking about last week, but my mind went right to the cinematic and the dude turning another person into a sheep. It was just like,
oh well,
Yeah, loads of fun. So we'll see what happens next on Saturday when they're going to start ascending the stairs into the garden loft, which is supposedly a really freaky and wild kind of psychedelic experience. So got to write up some descriptions for that.
Interesting.
Challenge accepted is going to be a little interesting. We didn't have a session because all the running around I did Saturday afternoon, I really just was not in a good spot, and there's a lot that goes into doing games, and sometimes if you're not in the right space mentally, you could really damage the session. And this one was important because I've had several people in Discord who have been, in our Discord channel, our server, have been working, because one of the first ideas I was having was to do kind of a West Marches style roleplay world on my Discord. It hasn't come out yet. However, I've had several people do a lot of really great work on setting out an agnostic setting for any player to be in, regardless of what D&D stream is, but they have the potential to still influence back and forth. Yes, it's probably a copied idea. I get it. I'm just trying something different.
There's nothing wrong with.
But they had come up with this with the town and a couple of the NPCs. Well, in last week's episode of Challenge Accepted, they had actually decided to set out and visit this location to potentially find someone that they're tracking down. So now I get the chance to take all of this planning that these wonderful people have done on my Discord server, and which has not been shown except out of the planning stages, and actually make that all canon through the World Anvil and through the game. So it's going to be loads of fun, but I wanted to make sure I did it right. I wanted to be in the right space, right place, all of that stuff. So this Saturday we're going to see that, and that should be fun and do all of those things.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
Fun times ahead in the D&D worlds. They're talking about what next to turn some character.
Well, this month is going to be wild.
Wild?
Yeah. Wild because on the... We got what? Okay. It's March 2nd. We got 2 weeks. A little less than 2 weeks. The 15th of March is going to be the release of the week of the 15th. We've got daylight savings time. We have got several things coming out on the various universes, but also the new Candlekeep Mysteries book. So I'm uber excited to see that and build libraries with some of those adventures.
It's going to be fun. You know, more stories to develop, more worlds to explore, people.
And side thing, do you realize what episode number we're on, Ry?
We are on episode... Are you talking about the Scuba and The Ry show?
Scuba and The RY show.
We're on episode 83.
83.
Yeah.
Dude, you do realize in like a couple of months, we're going to hit the 100.
100
episodes of you and me doing this shenanigans.
Shenanigans. A lot. It would be 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, we started in 2019. 100 episodes. That's a big feat.
A big feat. I have no idea what we should do. We should do something.
Something big. We should need to figure out where 100 falls and then plan it out from there.
I did. It's in June.
All right. Well,
it's in June.
Depending on COVID restrictions and all, we can find something to do.
I know an interesting episode is when we hit the 90s. One of our episodes in the 90s is going to be falling on my birthday. So we will be doing a show on my birthday.
Dun, dun, dun. Bring the gifts.
I don't know about all that.
Bring the birthday wishes.
I think I'll just enjoy hanging out with all you wonderful, wonderful people.
That works.
So let's talk about Paramount Plus.
24-hour Scuba and The RY. Depends on when it falls. I don't think that... Okay. We
can figure that math out, but yeah, 24-hour Scuba and RY.
June's far away. I got plan around things. But
got to do the things. But let's talk about Paramount Plus, which is coming. I don't know if it's a release or a re-release. Anyways, if you're not familiar, there's this thing called CBS All Access, which is CBS's streaming service. On Thursday, they're rebranding that Paramount Plus. Now, we talked about this a few months ago at this point.
Yeah, maybe it was just notable that, they were converting it, but details of what, why, and how.
The details are out.
Finally.
And I'm kind of excited to see how that plays out.
I am excited too, because out of all the newer streaming services, this one actually has perked my interest since HBO Max.
Yes, so Paramount Plus is coming out, and they're going to have 2 tiers. They're going to have a $5 basic tier and a $10 ad-free tier. Now, if you are not subscribed to CBS All Access / Paramount Plus, there is a special going on until tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
So here you're watching live, you're hearing this now. You have until tomorrow midday, evening time, I think, if I remember right, tomorrow, where you can go and you can get a year, get a year subscription at half the price.
Oh yeah.
So if you go with the annual subscription instead of it being $10 a month annual, that's $100 for the year. You do it during this promotion, you can get it for $50 for the year. Now, there are some interesting things going on with what they're trying to put out for this.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things.
Because obviously Paramount is part of the Viacom group.
Yep.
Which means anything that's been on CBS, MTV, BET, Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, Paramount, and Paramount Pictures.
So
It's all going to be up on this.
So with like when you hear Paramount Pictures, there's a lot of different variety of films that you can see. Some notable name of films, I did jot them down, like Oscar films like American Beauty, True Grit, Braveheart, Saving Private Ryan. Sci-fi's like Minority Report, Arrival, the Anchorman comedies, and some big series.
Hey, if they got the original Top Gun, I'm good.
Oh yeah, they got Top Gun. They're gonna have the Godfather series for the horror fans out there. Paranormal Activity, the Transformers series, if you like the Transformers. Mission Impossible.
Really? Wait a minute. You're gonna put Transformers right after talking about horror films? I mean, what are you trying to say, Rye? What are you trying to say?
It's how I wrote it here in my notes. I don't know.
Are you sure? You sure there's not a subliminal bit there going like, because the last few Transformer films were so bad they may as well be horror?
Hey, it might have been a Freudian slip. Who knows?
Well, maybe you need to talk to Frasier, because apparently Frasier's getting revived.
Oh yeah, Frasier's getting revived too. Not to mention a couple of reboot classics from the MTV VH1 era of great music with Behind the Music, Yo MTV Raps, and Unplugged.
I'm sorry, I must be one of those people who's too damn old for this, because I want MTV to go back to what MTV was.
Oh yes.
24/7 music.
That's what I miss.
Not reality shows, not this other garbage, just straight up 24/7 music videos.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But that's good that Paramount is expanding that. Some other big things is that with Paramount Plus, they will be getting more Avatar content.
Yes, they actually spun up their own an actual miniature studio that is their whole purpose in life is to make Avatar content.
Yes. So they are expanding the Avatar world, and there will be an animated film up on Paramount Plus in the not too distant future.
But of course, this is the thing that's got me most interested, because there's some video game franchises I'm quite passionate fan of.
I think I'm passionate about the same one that you're talking about.
And this one we've heard talked about, and this is the long-awaited and anticipated Steven Spielberg Halo.
Yes, Halo is originally was slated to come out on Showtime, but they decided to move the Halo series to Paramount Plus, which will be released in 2022.
All right, so I mean, this would be interesting. I mean,
it'll be interesting, and the variety. And the one thing they're doing is Paramount.
$10 a month, though. It's not terribly priced.
$10, with ad free, and not to mention with the $10, you do get the CBS live stream of all their channels. So,
I'm not. I mean, the $5 to get ads. Hopefully, they're not as obsessive with the ads like what we've seen on some of the other ones. Yeah. But most.
But $5 to get access to 30,000 episodes, 2,500 movies, and 36 original series.
Yeah, but if they sit there and be like, "Oh, well, hey, I'm gonna watch Star Trek Episode 4, and I have this $5 here," does that mean they're gonna cut the film up and put ads in every so long, like Hulu does?
Yeah, but the ads don't really bother me on Hulu. It's only a couple here and there, but oh yeah, it's definitely interesting. The perks my interest because it seems to, as compared to Peacock, it seems to be more of a variety of things that they are trying to do.
Yeah, well, Peacock seemed to be a big flaming pile of something.
Yeah, it is what it is. And this one actually garners my interest, especially with me being a movie fanatic, is that they're doing something with the new releases coming up. So they are allowing, after the theatrical release, they'll be on the streaming service 35 to 45 days after. So that's about a month and a half.
Well, I mean, if you own the distribution, you can certainly do it.
So you'll get to see A Quiet Place Part 2, Mission Impossible 7, Top Gun Maverick, and all the new Paramount films coming out this year, not too long after the theatrical release. So not as pristine as the HBO Max deal, but you know, still good.
Still, though, if I miss the film 30, 45 days, I can watch it on the streaming service if I have a subscription.
$5 a month.
Well, I don't know. I'm still on the fence.
Yeah.
You haven't quite convinced me.
But I will
jump in on yet another subscription service.
I will.
I mean,
sacrifice myself.
We're talking the 30,000 plus episodes of TV shows that are under Paramount's distribution. We're talking 2,500 movies. I mean, it's a lot, but you know, I mean, really, why am I going to want to spend another $10 on another streaming platform?
Avatar and Halo.
But Avatar: The Last Airbender is on Netflix. Halo's not due to come out for another year.
We can wait and see. But for you guys out there, I will try it out and come back with my impressions.
Okay. Well, you have your chance to convince me.
Oh, yeah.
Change my mind.
Change my mind, people.
Change my mind.
But what do you think? Do you think it's another cash grab? You think it's too many streaming services out there? Let us know.
I mean, pay for what you want, do those things.
Major Sif says too many streaming services. I
kind of agree with that.
Yes,
That's why I'm like, change my mind. Yeah. Convince me.
But the one thing is that I like is that there's more selectiveness with the streaming services because you can pick and choose the ones you want.
That's true. I mean, I have the HBO Max, and it's like there's so many things on there. It's like the only benefit I've really had for it is the fact there's a lot of the DC content for like the DC animated stuff. Other than that, I haven't really sat to watch because it's like too many choices.
Yeah, HBO Max for me has been the new movie releases, Studio Ghibli, and the original shows up on there. Plus, I watch a lot of HBO shows. They're my favorite, so...
I keep meaning to. I did a little bit of Dark Materials.
Take one for the team. Yes, I am. I will.
Well, you know, he'll come back. He'll tell us, and then the challenge is out there. Change my mind. Convince me to subscribe to this for a year to figure out what's what and who to do. If you guys out there watching this have any thoughts and opinions on this, please leave them in the comments below, and let's continue the conversation there.
Yep, I shared out the main link on CNET that gave you a whole shebang-a-bang about it, and then also the deadline article for the Halo series. I'm at least, I would get it to watch Halo, because I am not against, you know, getting a streaming service for one show, The Mandalorian, but, you know, it happens. You know, I definitely will get it by next year for the Halo show.
All right, so... That being said, and we're talking films or whatever, the awards circuit is in full swing, and one of the things we have for the awards circuit is the Golden Globes.
Yes.
So the Golden Globe. To be honest, I've never really cared about the awards circuit. So, what is the Golden Globes?
The Golden Globes, I call it the redhead stepchild to the big wigs when it comes to the Emmys and the Oscars, because they're the big awards and big things.
Now, the Emmys has to deal with television.
Yeah, nighttime television.
The Oscars have to deal with the films.
Yes.
And the Tonys deal with stage production.
Yes.
Golden Globes is... I don't fall into any of those categories, so everyone's welcome.
They're just an amalgamation of all the different entertainment drops for movies and TV, but it's basically just a place where people can hang out and drink. That's the running joke for the show. But it's been around for 78 years, so it is a big awards thing.
It was a lot bigger back in the day.
Yeah, but at the same time, it is a good indication of what to see on the award circuits for the rest of the year.
Okay. So, got a couple of wins. Got a couple of things to talk about. Obviously, because of COVID, the way they've had to change up some of the rules on this, but this is some interesting data. So, Nomadland.
Yes.
Which we talked about last week, right?
Yes.
Is this the same Nomadland?
Yeah, the one I talked about. Yeah. Was it last?
That apparently took home Best Picture for drama.
Yes, it did.
Impressive.
Oh yeah.
Chadwick Boseman got a posthum. He got a award for his role in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
For best actor.
Post. I can't even remember.
Post harmonious is no post.
Either way, it was one of the. It was a lot like what they did with Heath Ledger after for his role in Joker.
Yeah.
They gave it to him even though he is no longer with us, which I think is really cool and a testament to the performance. If you're not familiar with that, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, that is on Netflix as well. It's another play adaptation that it's set in the 1920s.
Yes.
And jazz and Violet Davis plays Ma Rainey. Chadwick Boseman plays a trumpet player, and the two of them have a kind of a competing view on jazz.
Yes,
and
they do.
To get famous playing jazz. So check it out on Netflix. Review on Ry Reviews to check those things out. But man, Netflix. They did pretty good.
Yeah, they stroke it up with 10 awards across many different platforms, because they got 10 awards with their big series is The Crown and the Queen Gambit. They took the best drama and best limited series, actress for Anna Taylor-Joy in Queen's Gambit, and then actor, actress, and supporting actress in The Crown.
Nice.
And best drama TV series.
It looks like Chicago 7 got best screenplay
For Aaron Sorkin, which I called that because that was one of the best written scripts of last year, which I'd said in my review. Check it out on ryreviews.com.
And we talk about Rosamund Pike winning best actress for I Care a Lot.
Yes, she did. That was an interesting one. But yeah, Netflix definitely swept the bed with a lot of awards across the board.
Now, you said at the top of the show that the Golden Globes is kind of the barometer for the Oscars and the Emmys.
Yes.
How is that a barometer for those?
Because it's the reason that a lot of people, at least in the movie sphere, consider it as a barometer, because it's the first one that comes out the gate. And building up onto it, it's usually an indication of what the award circuits across the board with all the Screen Actors Guilds, Directors Actor Guilds, and whatnot, because of they just started off like when they don't look at it and say, hey, since they won, they're gonna pick it, but it's a barometer because it's based on the Hollywood Press Forum, and just mostly because it is the first one out the gate. So that's where the barometer starts. So they put out hints, and in building up onto it, it's based on all the like Toronto Film Festival, Sundance, Cannes, and then they play into that. So
sorry, I saw a comment in the chat. I've got a little bit of a tear. I'm laughing so hard internally. Somebody you had called the Golden Globes the redheaded stepchild of the award show. Somebody else in the chat called it the junk drawer of the award show.
It certainly is. It's not one that, people go yay and it's because what they do is that when it comes to the best pictures and best stuff, they split it between genres, and then sometimes films fall into the categories that don't make any sense. So they just kind of like broaden the horizon in weird ways. But
how often does a winner from the Golden Globes wind up a winner in one of the other two?
About 70% of the time.
All right, so don't place your bets just yet.
No.
Wait for Sundance and all that to really place your bets on who's gonna take it big in the golden one.
The best thing is to look at the guilds awards, so like the Screen Actors Guilds, the Director Guilds, BAFTA, which is the British Actor Academy Awards, which is a good one, a good barometer for the Oscars. But those are the ones you want to look at.
Alrighty, well, we'll definitely keep up on that, because I know the award shows are big with you.
Oh yeah,
we had some good conversations the last couple of years, so we will see how that plays out.
My guess is my thought, based on all the movies I've seen, not the award show, is that No Man Land is probably taking Best Picture this year at the Oscars.
We will see if your prediction holds true in a couple of months.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty, let's get into some odds and ends and kind of wrap this up.
Oddies and endies, people.
Odds and ends. We only got a couple stories for tonight. Both of these are courtesy of the BBC. One Now let me ask, we're talking games again, all that. How many? We've all heard of Fortnite, right? As with any kind of massive game, there's always a pro gamer element to these things. Like we have pro Call of Duty, we have pro StarCraft, we have pro CS:GO, we have all these various pro games. Fortnite is, of course, no exception. However, Fortnite now has a new claim to fame in the fact that they can now sit there and say they have the youngest pro gamer.
Youngest pro gamer in the series circuit, and he goes by the name of Joseph Dean. How young is he, Scoob?
The kid's still in elementary school. We're talking, this is an 8-year-old. An 8-year-old pro gamer.
Oh yeah, he's an 8-year-old pro gamer, and he was signed to Team 33 last December. Wow. And as it says in the article, quote, the Californian esports team invited him to their headquarters to give him a $33,000 sign-on bonus and high-speed computer system, end quote.
Now, here's a catch, and that is Fortnite's Cash Cup competition is only available to anyone who is 13 years of age and older. So while this while this young man is now on the pro circuit, he can only compete in tournaments where there is no cash prize. But to be fair, the fact that he was good enough at 8 years old to get signed as a pro gamer, I'd say that's pretty good check in the box as far as hopefully we can see a lot of really cool things come from him later.
Oh yeah, and it's very exciting to see this because it's showing that that they are, allowing the kid to come in. They're welcoming in the kid into their arms. They want to nurture him and build him up to what he likes to do. But also, on the side, he also plays piano. So he has another talent. So if the gaming doesn't work, he can be the next Mozart.
And ironically, that both of them take really good hand-eye coordination.
Oh yeah. And even though the game is rated for teen, his mom says it's okay for him to play it.
Did she see the latest content drop for Fortnite?
No, she probably doesn't.
Have y'all seen the latest content drop for Fortnite? Well, I mean, they've been adding a lot of cool characters, but now they just added 2 more. And that would be Ellen Ripley and the Xenomorph is now going to be in Fortnite to roll with the likes of the Mandalorian, Marvel characters, and a whole slew of other crazy shenanigans.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it is going to be fun. Just the cool thing is he gets a good signing bonus and money he can use for the future. And maybe future
smart money is put that in a trust. Hook this kid's college fund up now, because we all know that by the time he's graduating high school, you'd be lucky if he can do college for less than $200,000.
Oh yeah, thinking about hitting it big.
10 years in a trust, $33,000. Booyah!
Booyah! You can hit it big in a trust or hit it big in a.
Regardless of that stupid wealth tax that they're trying to push. I'm sorry. Almost lost our family-friendly moment there. It's like, yeah. Anyways, moving on. Speaking of large amounts of money.
Large amounts of money. Boom! Another article for you peoples.
Play anything besides the Xenomorph, if that's an option. That is a very good point. And Alien is one of my favorite film franchises because of the artist, which ironically I am just old as. Moving on. So let's talk about large sums of money, and let's talk about ways of claiming large sums of money. If this again comes from the BBC, if you happen to be the winner of an unclaimed jackpot, one of the incentives that might happen to get you to step forward to claim said jackpot is using alcohol?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yes. Yeah. So The British National Lottery is reaching out to a brew house in Walsall called Backyard Brewery to produce 100 bottles of the blonde ale to find the winner of the 1.39 million euro millionaire maker jackpot before the tickets expires March 17th, people. So they're hoping that by...
Whoa.
Okay,
Time out.
rewind.
Time out.
Okay, what is
Flag
it?
on the play. Wait a minute. This cat won 1.39 million euros
Yep.
in the Euro Millionaire Maker. And their idea to try and lure him out is to get a brewery to make a bunch of a limited run on a brew and have the expiration be March 17th, St. Patty's Day.
Yep. And
Why am I in the wrong country right now?
I don't know. I think we might need to make a boat air trip. And to add on top of that, the name of the beer is called Just the Ticket. And you can find it on their website.
That there are so many things with that I just find wild.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, the comment on the alien stuff is like Zip is talking about how our cat's named Newt. It's like, it's interesting. Did you know the actress who plays Newt is actually a school teacher now?
Really? I did not know that.
Newt was the only role she ever did, and she is currently a school teacher.
The things you learn.
Yep. And she, yep, school teacher. It's really cool.
But, yep.
I go back to that. It's like, wait a minute. You're going to try and find this person by a limited run of brew, and the ticket expires on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah. It expires at St. Patrick's Day, and the person that runs the brewery says, quote, "We hope Just the Ticket will help spread the message and ultimately help unite the missing winner with the life-changing prize. It certainly would be a barrel full of laughs, haha, for someone if they were to come forward."
I think this is full. This is just hilariously fun marketing.
Yep. So it is their best-selling blonde beer. Blonde beer. That's interesting. I might have to make a trip to try it. So rich in flavor, they said.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds like fun.
Yes. The more you know. That's right, Major
Yep,
Zip.
the more you know.
I love his comment. He says, "Only in England is beer more valuable than $1.3 million. Touche, my friend. Touche. Hit up a pub and grab some whiskeys, and then you call it a party. Hooray, I'm rich."
Check, please. Table 1. I mean, that's just
School
hilarious.
teachers, beer, and lottery. That's how we end the night.
Yeah, I was watching something a little ago, and it was pointed out they actually interviewed her, and she went on to become a school teacher. I think it's really awesome.
But yeah, we need more school teachers.
There's a few people that they did it's like I think it was one of those things like child actors who only did like 1 or 2 roles and then left the business.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that did that. You know, they highlight the ones that get hurt, but there's a lot that went and did other things.
That's awesome. You're like right on the money. Oh, another tidbit about Aliens is the deleted scene that they put back in the special edition where Newt is with her brother in the scene with their parents. That's actually her real brother who did that little bit.
I did not know that either.
Like I said,
The more you know.
I really enjoyed the Alien franchise, and I really enjoyed the artist who came up with the Alien. Is one of my favorite artists, H.R. Giger. Fortunately, he passed away several years ago. But his artwork is really kind of evocative, and that whole biomechanics type stuff is really cool. And the fact that he did the Alien in the mid '70s, and then Ridley Scott loved the concept, and he worked on the first film. And the fact that it's gone all these years after that has such a interesting aspect of is really cool. So yeah. Game over, man. Game over. With that is the end of our wonderful show for you guys tonight.
Yes, sir.
All the fun things, all those things. Since we're doing the winding down, we'll flip back over to the Stream Beats music for the final few moments. where we want to say thank you, all of you, for hanging out with us in the chat, for checking out the video. Please, if you enjoyed everything you saw here, be sure to hit the little like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when more videos come out from us over here at Scuba Studio. I am, of course, Steve, your wonderful and charming host. Hopefully I'm charming. I don't know. I made that up as I went. And, of course, Ry Guy, who's like everywhere.
Everywhere and anywhere I can be.
Movies, food, whatever. He's the person. If you enjoyed all this, do all those things. If you want to support the studio, one of the great ways you can do to support the studio is go over to patreon.com/scuba studio and consider joining as a patron. We got a number of tiers there with a number of different benefits and perks. We have a wonderful Discord community. I tend to reach out and chat. I'm working on chatting with them more often. So you can check out our Discord. Works, Steve. It works. And of course we have other shows later this week. We have Sunday. We have Shadow Watch on Saturday. Challenge accepted Saturday night. Sunday was Scoob Sunday. I don't know what I'm gonna paint yet. I haven't figured that out. I may paint the pack of Dwarven Forge I've got. I may pull out this perplexing puzzle decoder that I have received and that I personally don't want to change and make it my own, because that's a thing you do with props. And of course, oh, wait a minute. I said I was going to tell you about something that for next week.
What is happening next week?
Next week, we are going to have a guest.
Guest interview.
We are going to have a guest interview. Ry is going to have a lot more time to prepare because I got the confirmation tonight. We are going to have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jason Acevedo of Rumsmith will be a guest. We will be picking his brain and asking those questions. So if you're on our Discord, by all means, start fielding some of those questions you want us to ask him. It's going to be lots of fun. I always like hanging out with Jason. Hanging out with him is great. But he's going to come. He's going to hang out with us. He's got a break in his production schedule. So he said yes to come and hang out with us. So something to look forward to.
Yep. Would be fun.
And with that, we will wish you all a wonderful week. Love each other. Stay safe. Do all the things. It's getting to be spring. It's getting to be summer. Let's have some fun. And, we'll see you on our next stream. Good night, everybody.
Peace.